find a way of ensuring if the county government's public service board, I remember once a time I was a member of Labour Committee under Chairperson Senator Sakaja, and we had even reached a level of having a National County Public Service Act that would have looked into all these issues, or having an umbrella body. But be made as Mr. Speaker, sir, is that this opportunity, the petitioner can still use the National Public Service Commission to iron out and sort out some of these issues that they might have grievances. I know they have a right under Article 41 on the labor rights. They should use such avenues to ensure that this issue can be resolved once and for all. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Wako, what's your point of order?
Speaker, I know you warned Senator Kangata, and as you can see...
Order, Senator Kangata.
I don't know what he's pleading with Senator Omanga, but I think your order should have been physical distance. And where's his mask? Because whatever he's pleading, he can plead outside. Thank you.
Senators, let's be serious. Those engagements can be done out of the chamber. Senator Wako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to come and add my voice to this. Mr. Speaker, much has been said about the petitioner and the petition itself. I just want to say that as Senate, now that this petition has come, we have the opportunity to look into this. But in future, I think proper verification must be done before we deliberate. The issue of saying that we give it the shortest time possible, I think may not sound well outside there, because we are here to serve Kenyans, and the petitioner has the right to be heard, and we are here to create that listening ear. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that now that the petition has come, let us give the petitioner the attention that this petition deserves, and also see how best we can handle. Mr. Speaker, again, important to note is that as we have been discussing the issue of revenue sharing, a lot of criticism has been based on the county government. The issue of corruption, which, if you follow, is traced to the procurement department. And so many people are interested in that particular department because of many things which we may not know. And so let us give the petitioner the time to be heard. And I want to request even the chair of the Labour Committee so that they create enough time. And in future, we do not need to come here and say so many things, but at the beginning, those who look at the petitions can guide us, and we don't need to discuss other things. Because by saying what we have said, we are putting many Kenyans off, and that is not right, Mr. Speaker. So thank you so much. I support the petitioner and say that whether it is right or not, let us discuss, let us give it attention, and guide the House in the right way. Thank you.
Okay, honorable senators. You freeze where you are, or sit. Senator Wako. Honorable senators. Freezing means you just stand where you are without movement. So, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 2321, the petition is hereby committed to the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. In terms of Standing Order 232, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioner by way of report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Statements. Oh, Chair Ad hoc Committee on Mess.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 8th September 2020. Report of the Ad Hoc Committee on Managed Equipment Services on the inquiry into the Managed Equipment Services project by the Ministry of Health. Now, for the benefit of the members, it will be immediately loaded into... Yes, thank you.
Standing Committee on National Security. Do we have the Vice Chair? Okay.
Chair, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have the privilege to lay the paper of a statement which was presented before the committee today. The statement of the arrest of the 3 senators.
Is a report?
It's a report, Mr. Speaker. I beg.
What's your point of order, Senator? There's already a point of order. Sakaja, take your seat.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that there were changes in committees were done recently. And maybe there's not been an induction, but traditionally, even when you do that, you must say, I beg to lay. That is a tradition of Parliament. And then the other flowery language can come, the privilege and all that. But you must beg to lay and you lay. And
So
then now
just read what is written there without getting into
without
a lot of trouble.
But Mr. Speaker, I beg you do the induction soon, please.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Senator for Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the report of the committee Excuse me. Oh, okay. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today. The report on the implementation of the directive issued by the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 17th August 2020 regarding whereabouts of the 3 senators.
Senator Kasanga. What's your point of order, Senator Malala?
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to go through the report. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to your attention and to the attention of this House that last week I wrote a letter to your office.
What's your point of order?
That's what I want to build on. The same issue. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, last week I wrote a letter to your office stating categorically that my life was in danger. And, Mr. Speaker, this is not a laughing matter. In my letter, I categorically stated the threats of my life. I even mentioned the officers by name and by staff number. I even mentioned the vehicles they are using. I even mentioned the rifles that they have. I even mentioned the venues of the meetings that they have been having to ensure that they threaten my life and harm me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, your office wrote to the IG, and I requested for extra security, Mr. Speaker. Up to now, Mr. Speaker, I have not been assured of my security, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to use the privilege of this House, Mr. Speaker, to say that my life is still in danger, Mr. Speaker. And it is only your chair that can protect my life, Mr. Speaker. It will be bad, Mr. Speaker, for you to take this matter lightly. And then tomorrow, you hear that Senator Malala has been assassinated, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask you, Mr. Speaker, kindly move with speed and protect Senator Malala against these people, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Senator Cheriot, what's your point of order? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to add a further additional point to what is being raised by Senator Malala, that the way this House has treated this particular issue, Mr. Speaker, leaves a lot to be desired. Mr. Speaker, it's not a very good practice or in the conduct of parliamentary business that what happened to 3 of our colleagues is handled in the manner in which it has been handled. We have seen a report being tabled today, Mr. Speaker. I expected that the leaders, led by leader of majority, leader of minority, would at least have given priority to this report today before the conduct of any business, because a threat to the life of any colleague is an indirect threat to your life also as a member of parliament, because you do not know when is it that you will take a position that is unpopular to a dictatorial regime such as the one that is presiding over Kenya right now, and they'll come for your life, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, when we appeared before the Committee on National Security of this House, we were denied the opportunity to ask questions. In fact, you would have confused the chair and the vice chair for being PRO officers for the Minister for Interior, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
It was shameful what happened.
What's your point of order,
and
Senator?
the further decision.
Order, members.
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Bokisho.
allow me to, I'm about to conclude. Allow me to conclude. I'm on a point of order.
Okay, order. Okay.
I'm on a point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Let him conclude.
I'm on a point of order.
Okay, let him conclude. Okay, let him conclude.
Keep your cool, leader of majority.
Order. Conclude.
You know, leader of majority is my father. So he should allow his children to express their feelings without feeling agitated. Because if we are wrong anyway, he can later on use parliamentary opportunity available, even call me to his office later and advise me that you are out of order. But for now, leader of majority, allow us to say what transpired before that committee, that it was extremely unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that as colleagues, when we went before that particular committee, first of all, number one, media was locked out. And this is not the first time. Today we want a ruling from you, Mr. Speaker, on this practice by this particular committee of kicking out the media. This is the second time that, the last time, Mr. Speaker, when we raised an issue on the issue of Huduma numbers, and the minister appeared before this particular, we must know what is the interest that members of this committee have with this particular minister, such that every time he appears before this House, media is kicked out, Mr. Speaker. On that particular day again, media was kicked out. Senators were not allowed the opportunity to ask questions. I felt a lot of anger and pain when Senator Cherargei tried just to raise a simple question. And you know, Senator Cherargei has had his fair share of run-ins with that particular ministry and the leadership. It was a fair opportunity for him to ask questions. He was shut down. The chair told him to his face that he is not needed in that committee. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, there are 3 issues that are before you, that before we proceed into the further order of business that is before you, you must give a ruling on, Mr. Speaker.
No, order, members. Order. I want to say this, that of course the issues that Senator Malala has raised are very serious, and I would want to advise that he brings it as a personal statement to this House, so that order. Because they have just laid the report on the table, and of course we will need time to go through it, for you to interrogate it and give your comments. That's why I was saying, because he had just given, he intervened. I was saying he will bring a personal statement. Then when we are discussing that report, even the issues that you are raising, Senator Cheriot, will then be discussed in a more detailed way, because we also have other papers that have to be laid, so that we are able to make progress. Senator Wetangula. Okay, just a minute more, Senator. Senator Wetangula is there. Just hold on, Senator Wetangula.
Thank you. I'll not go into the details of the statement, but Mr. Speaker, we have a history in this country. When a member stands up and alleges that his life is in danger, we look back, Mr. Speaker, and the distinguished Senator for Siaya can tell you this. J.M. Kariuki stood on the floor of the House and said his life was in danger. It was brushed off. He was found partly eaten by hyenas in Ngong Forest. Mr. Speaker, later, Tony Ndilinge, with whom we were in Parliament, with Senator Orengo, stood on the floor and said his life was in danger. Members even laughed at him. A week later, his body was found in Mwiki, in Githurai. So, Mr. Speaker, the least we want to encourage you as our Speaker is to send an immediate message to the IG that the matter raised by the distinguished Senator for Kakamega can and should not be taken lightly, indeed, by any senator who feels that his life is in danger, so that the IG can assure you as the leader of this House. The IG can also assure the country that indeed, like he has a duty to protect the life and the property of every individual Kenyan, he has an even greater duty to protect the life of a senator who is feeling apprehensive that his life is in danger.
Senator Murkomen.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I think you need to take this thing very seriously. Because, Mr. Speaker, it started with Cherargei, Mr. Speaker, way before. It moved to Susan being denied security. It moved to me, my security, when I was removed as majority leader, my security was withdrawn. I had to call the president himself to return it. Mr. Speaker, it went to Sakaja. He was arrested, Mr. Speaker. And then we came here and laughed, and we're still joking across the country that it has something to do with ladies' lounge. Mr. Speaker, it moved from there, it went to the 3 senators. So, Mr. Speaker, it becomes that story of the German priest, Mr. Speaker, who said, when they came for the Jews, I didn't speak because I wasn't a Jew. When they came for the communists, I didn't speak because I was not a communist. When they come to the people of labor movement, I didn't because I wasn't a member of a labor movement. But by the time they came for me, there was no one to speak. Mr. Speaker, they will go around, these senators, on different issues that will be coming to this House, and then finally they will come for you. Mr. Speaker, and by that time, there is no one to speak because it looks like it's picking people around in this chamber. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, a report has been laid. And Mr. Speaker, if you saw the confidence of the Vice Chair, he was not confident. It's not like he was struggling, Mr. Speaker, laying that paper. It's because it's not a paper worth being laid in this House. Mr. Speaker, we know Uta. We know Uta when he's confident. We know when he has done the right thing. You could see him shaking, Mr. Speaker, when he was here. And Mr. Speaker, I say so because apart from the committee, Mr. Speaker, apart from the committee rejecting media to go there, they did not invite Senator Malala to the committee. They did not invite Senator Langat to the committee. They did not invite Senator Lelekwe to that committee, Mr. Speaker, and we want to make it business as usual. Mr. Speaker, I don't believe that is a report that is what being called the Senate committee report.
Senator Orengo, Leader of Minority.
First of all, Mr. Speaker, let me just say one point as a preamble. I think we owe it to the Republic of Kenya that when there is a sitting of the Senate or of any committee and you intend not to allow the media, you must give a plausible explanation. And you don't give that explanation after the event. You give that explanation before. That happens in the courts. If you want the public or the media to not take part in the proceedings, the court must give reasons. And the Constitution says that if you want to make a decision which is adverse to any person who is interested in that decision, you must give notice or you must give a reasonable explanation. Me, for once, I would never tolerate a situation where the deliberations of the House, either in the committee or in plenary, are closed to the public. That is not possible in a democratic society. The second thing, Mr. Speaker, which Senator Wetangula referred to, there is standard security given to members of parliament. Once that standard security is removed from any member of parliament, it is a matter of concern, not to that particular member, but to the Senate as a whole. I remember there was a time when the security of Senator Mudama was taken away from him. We brought that matter to the floor of the House, and the Speaker ensured that the security was returned. Yeah. So I think that now that Senator Malala has stood here and addressed this matter as a matter of public concern, it cannot rest. The Speaker, and I know already you had pointed out to me at some stage that the letter has reached you, but now that he has raised this matter on the floor of the House, something must be done. Mr. Speaker, the issue of security is very important. I was engaged in the the trial of the murder of Dr. Uko. The first thing that happened was the security was removed from Dr. Ouko. And what happened subsequently is history. If there's a man that I thought he was good, holy, and religious, who should never have met that fate, it would be Dr. Robert Ouko. I remember a member of parliament for Nyeri, Honorable, what is his name, the tall, Waruru Kanja. Waruru Kanja stood in the National Assembly the way today Senator Malala has stood. And he said there was a lot of points of order against what he was saying. But Waruru Kanja said, I must speak because I want to tell the people of Kenya my life is in danger. I don't want to be found dead like Dr. Uko because I will not be able to raise that issue. So the fact that Senator Malala has raised this issue from the floor, I hope that immediate action should be taken, and then the inquiry can proceed, but the question of his security must be dealt with immediately, because if it is left in abeyance, then something will happen, and all of us who are here will feel collectively guilty. Because after the death of Dr. Uko, I know a lot of people felt very guilty because Uko had actually been pointing out to people that his life is in danger, and it looked like a story. I was in the House at that time when Dr. Uko was a very lonely figure. He used to sit on the front benches. He used to come to sit where we used to sit in the back bench with Abuya and Koigi, because he was sensing something was going to happen to him, but he was not courageous enough to stand up and say it. And now that Malala has spoken, let us forget our differences and think about his life. Because it could happen to you, it could happen to me. I have seen so many people lose their lives who are members of this House in the circumstances where they should not have died. And Mr. Speaker, therefore, what am I saying? I'm saying that from your chair, some directives should be made immediately and now, so that we don't live in guilt tomorrow. Because if you give it tomorrow and something happens today, we'll be collectively guilty of this affair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Pareno from the other chamber, then Senator Wako, then...
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to comment on this issue of the security of members, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I'm a member of the Committee on National Security. And first of all, I want to say that it is not right for members of, I think it was Senator Murkomen who said that probably the report is not worth what it should be. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that as members of the National Security Committee, we did our job. We did justice to the matter that was before us. We took the matter of threats to the members and the arrest to the members of the members. We took it very seriously. And I want to urge members to look at the report that has been laid, not to seem to look at the report that has been laid. Mr. Speaker, because we are not yet debating the report, they should be able to read and be able to see that we have made far-reaching recommendations as far as the security of members is concerned, Mr. Speaker. So
what's your point of order, Senator Sakaja?
Order. Mr. Speaker, I'm actually shocked to hear this from Senator Pareno. Is it in order for my good friend Senator Pareno to say that the committee did justice to this matter while I myself attended, raised my own issues of being trailed, gave them number plates, of me being trailed by DCI officers, yet I was dismissed, and I was not even asked for any further details. So what justice? Is she in order to mislead the House, honestly, Mr. Speaker? And this is a committee I have chaired for 2 years in this House. In the absence of Senator Haji because of BBI, I've been chairing this committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, despite the fact that I agree that Senator Cherargei and Senator Sakaja were not given the proper chance that they should have had before that committee. But that does not mean that as a committee we did not consider what was before us, which was the threats and the arrest of Senator Malala, Senator Lelegwe, and the other senator. Mr. Speaker, if you look at that report, we actually made far-reaching
What's your point of order, Senator, Leader of Majority?
Speaker, it is basically on procedure, Mr. Speaker. And I think while we might get carried away or agitated, Speaker, by certain things which have happened, which we don't necessarily condone, I think just for the order of our House, Mr. Speaker, the statements which have been said about colleagues, even the statement about casting aspersions on the Vice Chairman of Security, and also, Mr. Speaker, using an opportunity like this in a not a very proper manner, Mr. Speaker. I think we all condemn, but the paper has been laid, Mr. Speaker. I think we're all going to look at the copies. We have already canvassed on it, and so I'm hoping, Mr. Speaker, that we can just follow our procedure. But I want to assure, Mr. Speaker, the members, including Senator Malala, that the matter has been raised, and you have had the opportunity to be heard. The Speaker has heard. We have heard. And so I think we'll move from here as the Speaker has been given. And Mr. Speaker, just guide so that we don't have to attack each other on matters like this. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator, had you finished, Senator Pareno? I had given Senator Wako an opportunity. Senator Wako, then I will. Where is she? Are you finished, Senator Pareno?
Mr. Speaker, there were a lot of point of orders, so I sat so that I give others a chance to raise their point of orders. But I was simply saying that in as much as there are issues that arose out of within the hearing, like the issues that are being raised by Senator Sakaja, I want to say that we considered those issues, and I was only inviting members to be kind enough to look at the report, and if it fell short of addressing that issue, then they'll be able to raise what they are raising now. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. I see people laughing here, thereby indicating that this matter may not be as serious as they think or treating it lightly. Issues of security, particularly when they involve the right to life, are very critical. And as others have said, when it concerns political leaders, it becomes even a matter for the nation. Because each leader that has lost his life in the manner that other people have spoken here, this country almost broke down. Whether you are talking about Tom Boyer, whether you are talking about Robert Ouko, or J.M. Kariuki and others, this country almost broke down. And therefore, the issue we are discussing here goes just beyond Malala. It goes to the root of security, peace and security of the nation of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is not enough to say that he has been heard and that the matter will be considered. That's not enough. On a matter of security of this nature, what we need is to know immediately what action has been taken on that complaint, particularly where a leader has taken the trouble to use his own resources to investigate, and in his complaint, he has given really detailed particulars of the numbers of vehicles, policemen, all those involved. When he has done that, then the least we can expect is an immediate withdrawal of those vehicles or the people following him, or an immediate response to say that they are not after him, or something, then some action to be taken to replace, for the Malala to be given the security that he deserves. Mr. Speaker, sir, this country is a very good country, peace and stability and so on, but every now and again something happens which makes us shudder. And I would want to believe that never again are we going to have the type of instances that happened in the past which brought this country down. And hence, my request to you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the IG should first of all just immediately, because the details are there, say immediately they're withdrawn as he provides security to Malala. But that either withdrawal or denial or something has to be done immediately. Thank you.
Okay, order, senators. I see this is a matter that has attracted a lot of interest when I look at my list. But I want to say this as we proceed, that immediately Senator Malala wrote to my office. I did a letter to the IG raising the issues that Senator Malala had brought to my attention and asking him to take immediate action. Of course, the paper has just been laid on the floor of the House, and this is what I wanted to direct because I know we shall have an opportunity to discuss this matter. The report, that tomorrow at 10 a.m., the IG appears before the Security Committee, and that the committee, and that all those who have an interest in the matter also be allowed to attend. And even order members, and also, I have not finished. Order, don't rush me. Proceedings be open to media and all those who are interested in listening to this matter. It is so directed. Senator Kasanga. Order, members. I hope you are not challenging my ruling. Okay. Yes, Senator Malala, then Mazayo, then Ledama, then Mohamud.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for your wisdom, but my worry is, does that direction guarantee my security tonight? That is my question. Does it
Senator,
guarantee my security, Mr. Speaker?
It does guarantee your security.
Tonight?
Tonight, because you are, even yesterday you were alive. And I'm hoping that you will still be alive tonight. I have not seen anything. Okay. Okay, Senator Madzayo, I'm coming.
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika. Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, nakubaliana na uamuzi wako uliofanya. Lakini nilikuwa nataka kukuomba kitu kimoja Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, yule mwenyekiti wa kamati ya Justice na ya sheria na mambo ya human rights, haki za binadamu, pia yeye awe mmoja wa wale wanakiti ambao watakuwa katika hii kamati ambayo itakuwa kamati ambayo itaangalia wakati huyo IG amekuja hapa. Kitu cha pili Bwana Spika, nilikuwa nataka kusema kwamba mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa ndani ya hiyo nyumba.
Order, Senator. Order, senators. You know the rules that once the Speaker has made a ruling, that is final. We cannot go back on that matter. I have directed that the IG will come tomorrow, and all those who will be allowed to go there. I have made a ruling.
Bwana Speaker.
Order, members. Order, members. Order.
Bwana Speaker.
Order.
Bwana Speaker.
Order, members. Order, senators. Please. I have made a ruling on that matter. We cannot go back on that matter because then we are setting a bad precedent. I have said, order, I have said Malala's security, I'm on my feet. We are going to ensure that Malala's security is guaranteed. I have given that directive. And tomorrow when the IG comes, we'll look at it. Next order. Okay, Senator Cheriot. Point of order.
From that one, Senator for Kilifi, Senator Stewart Madzawa has made a very humble plea to you, of which I want to request you, Mr. Speaker, that you grant that Justice and Legal Affairs Committee be enjoined in prosecuting this matter. The reason we are pleading with you in this matter, Mr. Speaker, is because we know how difficult it is to appear before the Security Committee. I do not intend to discuss the conduct of the leadership of that committee, Mr. Speaker, but bear with some of us. Some of us are extremely young, that when we go before that committee and have to engage the chair, it is not it's not an interesting experience, Mr. Speaker. Okay. It's not respectful. Okay. Therefore, I want to plead with you that you accede to the request by Senator for Kilifi to allow this exercise to be carried out jointly together with the Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs. Please.
Okay, order, members. The order. Oh, not on that same matter. No. We have to make progress. Okay, I have said, order, members. The request by Senator Madzayo is granted. Next order. It's granted. Senator Kasanga.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 8 September 2020. Report of the Committee of Powers and Privileges on the inquiry into the conduct of senators during the election of the chairperson and vice chairperson of the Standing Committee on Health. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 8 September 2020.
Order, there's a lot of
Mr.
consultation.
Speaker, there is too much consultation.
Order, members, let's consult in low tones.
Number one, the Public Health COVID-19 General Public Safety Rules 2020, legal notice number 129 of 2020. Number 2, the Public Health COVID-19 Sale of Alcoholic Drinks Rules 2020, legal notice number 163 of 2020. I thank you.
Finance Committee.
Omira. Waziri wa fedha hapa. Mutura. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 8th September 2020. Report on the Standing Committee on the Finance and Budget on the petition presented by Senator Enoch Wabua, MP, on non-payment of Kitui County Executive of pending bills incurred during the financial year 2015-2016. Mr. Speaker, I also beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 8th September 2020. Report on the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Equalization Fund Bill, National Assembly Bill number 43 of 2019. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Kasanga.
I beg to give notice of motion for adoption of report of the Committee of Powers and Privileges on the inquiry into the conduct of the 2 senators, that the Senate adopts the report of the Committee of Powers and Privileges on the inquiry into the conduct of Senator Beatrice Kwamboka, MP, and Senator Mary Seneta, MP, during the election of the chairperson and vice chairperson of the Standing Committee on Health, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 2nd, 8th September 2020. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair Miss.
I wish to give notice of the following motion, that is adoption of the report of the ad hoc committee on managed medical equipment services, that the Senate adopts the report of the ad hoc committee on managed equipment services on inquiry into managed equipment services project by the Ministry of Health, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 8 September 2020. Thank you.
Senator Musuruve.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. I beg to give notice of the following motion: operationalization of education assessment resource centers, EACs in counties. That aware that Section 46 of the Basic Education Act 2013 mandates the county education boards to provide for education assessment and research centers, that is EACs, including a special needs service in identified clinics in their respective countries. Further aware that the functions of the EACs as provided by the Act include the study of children with special education needs within the county, the giving of advice to parents and teachers as to appropriate methods of education for such children in suitable cases, provision for the special education needs of such children in the identified clinics, and the giving of advice to county education boards regarding the assessment of needs of any child under special needs education for purposes of any of the provisions of the Basic Education Act 2013, noting that given the critical role EACs play in assessment, placement, and early intervention of children with special needs, EACs countrywide are currently in a dilapidated and dysfunctional state. Now, therefore, The Senate calls upon the county governments to operationalize Section 46 of the Basic Education Act 2013 by 1, ensuring that EACs in the respective counties are fully furnished and adequately staffed, and 2, working in tandem with the national government to develop a national policy on EACs that will define the expected service delivery in accordance with internationally set standards and regulate the terms of employment for the staff. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
The first statements are for 7-1, Senate. Sorry. I'm advised that there is a statement from Majority Leader.
Madam. Madam Speaker, I'll ask for your indulgence on this one. It's a statement pursuant to Standing Order 52.
Order, members. Let's give audience to the Majority Leader.
Speaker, Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.2 of the Standing Orders to make a statement concerning access by county governments to their share of nationally raised revenue for financial year 2020. What's happened to the volume? Is it my problem? Let them make the microphone. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.2 of the Standing Orders to make a statement concerning access by county governments to their share of national raised revenue for financial year 2020-2021. Madam Speaker, as you're aware, under the Constitution of Kenya 2010, there is a two-tier process on how revenue is shared between the two levels of government. In the first instance, and pursuant to Article 218, 1A of the Constitution, Parliament considers and passes the Division of Revenue Bill, which provides revenue raised nationally divides revenue raised nationally between the national and county levels of government. In this respect, the Division of Revenue Act of 2020 was passed by Parliament and assented to on the 22nd April 2020. In the second instance, and pursuant to Article 218, 1B of the Constitution, Parliament considers and passes the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, which allocates among counties the revenue allocated to the county level of government on the basis determined in accordance with the resolution passed under Article 217 of the Constitution. The County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2020 was published on 17th April 2020, read the first time on 21st April 2020, second reading debate on the bill commenced on the 5th of May 2020 and was adjourned pursuant to Standing Order 105 to allow the Senate to consider and pass the third basis for allocating revenue among counties, the share of national revenue that's annually allocated to the county level of government. The passage of the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2020 is predicated upon the resolution made by the Senate pursuant to Article 217 of the Constitution, considering that the second generation formula has lapsed. Madam Speaker, Article 224 of the Constitution provides on the basis of the Division of Revenue Bill approved by Parliament under Article 218, each county government shall prepare and adopt its own annual budget and appropriation bill in the form and according to the procedure prescribed in an Act of Parliament. However, while a reading of Article 224 would seem to imply that the budget process at the county level of government is determined by the Division of Revenue Bill, it should be noted that Article 224 is operationalized where there is a subsisting basis for the horizontal allocation of the county government's share of nationally raised revenue among counties. Madam Speaker, a consideration of this synopsis of events therefore reveals that with respect to this financial year, we are in a very unique situation where the vertical allocation of counties is ascertainable from the Division of Revenue Act, while the horizontal allocation determined by the County Allocation Revenue Bill is yet to be ascertained, as it depended upon the resolution of the Senate under Article 217 of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, the budget-making process and allocation of revenue between the two levels of government is not merely an academic exercise. At the heart of the public governance is the delivery of public service. The efficient and effective delivery of public services is dependent on resources. The delay in passage of the County Allocation of Revenue Bill not only represents a delay in the transfer of funds to county governments, but is likely to result in the crippling of services at the county level of government. We are almost at the end of the first quarter of this financial year, and no transfer has been made to county governments. A delay in the determination of allocations due to county governments will ex ante cause disruption in the budget-making process for county governments and ex post affect the effective implementation of the budget. These two scenarios therefore beg the question whether county governments have a remedy within the law that would allow limited access to their share of the nationally raised revenue. I would like to first call your attention to the provisions of Section 134(1) and 2 of the Public Finance Management Act, which provides if the county appropriation bill for a financial year has not been assented to, or is likely to be assented to by the beginning of a financial year, a county assembly may authorize the withdrawal of money from the county revenue fund. Money withdrawn under the subsection 1A may be used only for the purpose of meeting expenditure necessary to carry the services of the county governments during the financial year concerned until such a time as the relevant appropriation law is passed. And B, may not exceed in total one half of the amount included in the estimates of the expenditures submitted to the county assembly for that year. So, Madam Speaker, the provisions of Section 134 of the Public Finance Management Act, however, contemplate that the option of votes on account would arise where the Division of Revenue Bill and the County Allocation Revenue Bill have been passed, and for whatever reason, a county assembly has not passed an appropriation bill. The section does not contemplate the present situation where the County Allocation Revenue Bill has not been passed and national revenue has not been divided among counties. So, Madam Speaker, perhaps the provisions of the Public Finance Management Act, county governments, regulations, would provide a clearer way forward. Regulation 134 of the Public Finance Management Act, national government regulations, provides this way: that for equitable transfer before approval of county allocation of revenue bill, if the county allocation of revenue bill submitted to Parliament for a financial year has not been approved by the Parliament, or it is not likely to be approved by Parliament by the beginning of the financial year, the Comptroller of Budget may authorize withdrawals of up to 50% from the consolidated fund based on the last county allocation of revenue Act approved by Parliament for the purposes of meeting expenditure of the county governments for the financial year. 2, the authority under paragraph 1 shall seize upon assent of the County Allocation of Revenue Act for the financial year. And 3, the transfer to county governments made under paragraph 1 under this regulation shall form part of their equitable transfer for the financial year. It is prudent to remember that these regulations are made under authority conferred on the Cabinet Secretary under Section 205 of the Public Finance Management Act and under the principles espoused under Article 94(5) of the Constitution. It is my unequivocal position that whereas the principle of act does not deal directly with the question of transfers in the absence of county allocation revenue act, the regulations are clear on the remedy available to counties. Madam Speaker, the conundrum we are faced with has been the subject of judicial consideration. In advisory opinion number 3 of 2019, the Council of Governors and 47 others versus Attorney General and 6 others, the question of funds transferred to county governments in the event of a delay in the process of enacting division revenue bill was canvassed by the Supreme Court. The following constitutes the court's ruling on the matter. It is therefore our considered opinion, this is a court's ruling, it is therefore a considered opinion that should an impasse occur during the failure of the mediation process, occasioned by the lack of concurrence between the two houses over the division revenue bill, the National Assembly shall, for the purpose of meeting the expenditure necessary to carry on the services of county government during that year, until such time as the Division of Revenue Act is assented to, authorize the withdrawal of money from the consolidated fund. The money so withdrawn shall be included under separate votes for the several services in respect of which they were withdrawn. It is to be expected that each county assembly would have to readjust their respective budgets and appropriation bills accordingly. This leaves us with a question regarding the percentage to be withdrawn from the consolidated fund. While the withdrawal of money for the purpose of the national government under Article 222 is based on the percentage of the estimates of expenditure for that year, the same method cannot apply to the county government, since the monies do not include the equitable revenue share due to the counties. Logic would require that the percentage of the money to be withdrawn be based on the division of revenue bill. Yet this would be legally untenable, given the fact that the bill is not only the subject matter of a controversy, but is also yet to pass into law. In the circumstances, it is our view that in the event of an impasse, the percentage of the money to be withdrawn be based on the equitable allocation to counties in the Division of Revenue Act of the preceding year, financial year. In keeping with the spirit of Article 222(2)(b) of the Constitution, the money to be withdrawn shall be the 50% of the total equitable share allocated to the counties in the Division of Revenue Act. Madam Speaker, at the outset, let me point out that the Supreme Court advisory opinion relates to the situation where the Division of Revenue Bill has not been enacted. This is distinguishable from the present scenario where the Division of Revenue Act has not been enacted and the county's share has been enacted, and the county's share of nationally raised revenue has been determined. Access to these funds will therefore not be subject to the approval of the National Assembly or be predicated on the passage of an appropriation bill. The global allocation to counties has already been made by the Division of Revenue Act. However, the advisory opinion remains useful for our present purposes, as it would have the same net effect that we are trying to achieve. The directions of the court would result in the transfer of 50% of the allocation made to each county government in the immediate preceding financial year. Indeed, the manner in which the court arrived at this conclusion is aligned to my statement today. In considering the question to access of funds by counties during the delay in the enactment of legislation contemplated under Article 218 of the Constitution, the court employed a purposive interpretation of the Constitution. They based their opinion on the overarching principle of continuity in government as set out in Article 222 of the Constitution and espoused in the rulings of the Supreme Court. The court found that a reading of the law whose consequence would be the grinding to a halt of a delivery of services by the county governments would represent a subversion of Article 222 of the Constitution. And yet, a constitution cannot subvert itself. There must therefore be a remedy for counties to continue delivering on public services. Madam Speaker, on the premise of the law and facts that I have canvassed above, therefore, it is incumbent upon the Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury to implement provisions of Regulation 134 of the Public Finance Management Act, the national government, regulations, and further fortified by the ratio decidendi of the court in Advisory Opinion number 3 of 2019, to transfer to the counties 50% of the allocation made in the County Allocation of Revenue Act 2019. This would ensure that the continuity of the delivery of services by county governments as a means to an end, but also as a means of promoting the principles of devolution as set out in Article 175B of the Constitution. Madam Speaker, I raise this statement because of the misunderstanding, Madam Speaker, and also, Mr. Speaker, just to disabuse the nation of these accusations that come or are targeted to us in the Senate, Madam Speaker. And I know that my colleagues, probably I'll ask, my colleague, the leader of my minority, will add his voice to this as soon as I conclude. But, Speaker, I think it's very clear that we have a duty to do in determining the formula and also in passing CARA. But for this moment, as the counties, it is very difficult for the Senate not to come out in this manner. And we had to do this because you can hear even governors accusing the Senate. And Madam Speaker, you can hear governors saying they are going to grind to a halt. And everybody knows that the Constitution protects that. It cannot happen. And we should not allow it to happen. So we've come out, and I'm going to table this statement and ask that my colleague, the leader minority, adds his voice to this, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Leader of minority.
Mr. Speaker, I fully concur with the statements made by the majority leader, but I just want to add a few matters which the Council of Governors uttered when they made a statement last week, and I was told that they were probably going to issue another statement today. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, in making their statement last week, they made a very atrocious statement. One of the things they said is that they are going to shut down the Senate, disband the Senate, that they are going to file a petition in the court to dissolve the Senate. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'd ask the Council of Governors to read the advisory judgment which arose out of a matter they had filed themselves in the Supreme Court. And I want to say from the floor of this House, there is no provision under the Constitution that you can use to dissolve the Senate. None at all. None at all. What you can dissolve Parliament. And those provisions are contained in Article 261, sub-article 5, 6, and 7. And it only arises, Mr. Speaker, I want to repeat just in case the governors continue to make those statements, if Parliament fails to enact any particular legislation within the specified time to enact legislation, it is not about the resolution under Article 271. In making that resolution, 217, we are not enacting legislation at all, and they should be aware of that distinction. In fact, in paragraph 91, the court made this clear. They said this, and I quote, "In this regard, we would have had no hesitation to invoke the provisions of this Article 261 of the Constitution, had the Division of Revenue Act been one of the legislations unequivocally or at least tangentially included in the 5th schedule. They said they would have done it if it was one of the bills that are contemplated in the schedule. So I just want to tell them that, it is impossible for them to dissolve the Senate in these particular circumstances. And Article 217 makes it possible for us not to have an impasse, because Article 217, Subarticle 7, says that when there is no resolution, the previous resolution, and I think it is Senators Okongo Mugeni, Senior Counsel, and I think Senator Faki, pointed this very clearly, that Article 217, Subarticle 7, says that a resolution under this article that is approved under Clause B shall be binding until a subsequent resolution has been approved. So, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, there is no constitutional crisis, there is no impasse, and the Cabinet Secretary to the Treasury has the legal instruments, both on account of these constitutional provisions and on account of those provisions that have been cited by the majority leader. The second thing which the governors uttered, which were completely uncalled for and atrocious, and had a statement where they were saying that, the senators are extortionists. They said, and I heard, that the Senate, we are extortionists. Now, Mr. Speaker, if you take any newspaper on a daily basis on matters relating to Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act, you are more likely to find a governor on the first pages of the newspaper than you'll find a senator. Even today's newspaper, I don't see a picture of a senator here. It is all governors. It's all governors. And this has not occurred because it has just happened. It's because somebody has gone and made a complaint. I would advise the governors to go to Integrity House and make a report that on such a day, there was a senator who asked me for a bribe or I witnessed an event of extortion. But this kind of wild statements, this kind of sensational statements are shameless and uncalled for. In fact, I would have thought the Council of Governors would sit together and said, we are an endangered species. What do we do in order to survive? Because at this rate, they are likely not to survive. Just on the newspaper alone, there are 8 of them. And I don't see a single senator. Whenever you see the Senate on the first page, it is on something else which is political and not... Yeah. So this is a statement that should not have come from the governors at all. And Madam Speaker, finally, I would want to say this on this issue, which is very important as far as I am concerned, that Madam Speaker, the governors, and I've got a lot of respect for many of governors, so many of them are my friends. If those who attended the burial of Governor Laboso in the middle of contention of how much money should go to the counties, it was the governor, the chairman of the Council of Governors, who is my party leader, who said 316 million is enough. What are we complaining about? What are we complaining about? It is them at a meeting with the executive who said that 316 billion shillings is enough. When we were struggling to make sure that we get what the counties deserve, and they refused. In fact, if governors knew their work in the county, they should have supported the Senate to the hilt. But now they want the money. They want the money. They want not only this money that they are being given by Parliament, they want the COVID money also. They want the box. Yeah, they want the box. But they don't want oversight. They don't want to account. What type of people are these? Woe unto them! And Madam Speaker, you know there's an article in the Constitution, Article 104, where you can recall a member of Parliament. I am very proud to say that for these 10 years, I have not heard of any constituency where members of a particular constituency are calling for a recall of a member of the Senate. Not even once. But if you want to go by the number of impeachment motions that are waiting or have been posted, there are so many that I don't think we have even the capacity to deal with all of them, if at all they land here. So, in conclusion, Madam Speaker, I want to say that the governors should live up to the mandate and the job they were given. If they want money, they must be oversighted. If they think there's a crime committed by senators, they should go to Integrity House or Vigilant House or Uko Karibu na Karura Forest. They make a complaint. We are not above the law. But it cannot be an excuse for them to run away from oversight and audit by institutions of government. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senators, Senate members, honorable senators. I am guided by the resolution of the House Business Committee today that we will take only those that statement under 52.2, and it will not attract any debate for now. I think on Thursday when we come together, we will really dispose some of the things that we have. So I'm saying this because I have seen a number of requests, and I wanted to mention that we will move, therefore, to the next order. Thank you. Next order. The next statement is under Standing Order 47-1, and I will start with the statement from Alice Milko. Honorable Senators, I also want to say that we have a big number of statements today, and I'm going to beg for your indulgence that for statements under 47.1, we will only allow 2 interventions, and when it comes to statements under 48.1, which are statements that must go to the committees, let us make sure that every member is given a chance to... Senator, can you take your seat first? Please, take your seat.
Madam Speaker, help me to so that my voice can be heard.
From Senator here, but please don't take take your seat. I didn't want 2 members standing at the same time. Senator Mahmoud.
Madam Speaker.
Give him the mic, please.
Madam Speaker, I'm sorry to say this, but you know, on a matter of that importance, on a matter which the whole country is waiting for funds to the counties, a statement was issued by the leader of majority in this House. You ruled that the Senate Business Committee this morning decided nobody should contribute. In fact, on other statements which are very trivial, we allow half 15 minutes to be done. Madam Speaker, it's in order for the chair to gag the Senate.
On the same? Yes, Senator Juriat? Yeah.
Madam Speaker, we want to humbly plead with you that this is a very important statement that has been issued by the leader of majority. The character and conduct of Senate is on trial. You've heard what governors have said. You've heard what cabinet ministers have said. The least that members of this House can do is to at least show up support and speak to the issues that have been canvassed by our leadership. So to offer an opportunity to leader of majority and minority only and deny us the chance to prosecute our issues is not fair, Madam Speaker. We want to humbly plead with you that you kindly find it within you to allow us, even if it is only 3 minutes per senator, to speak on this matter, because it's extremely important. Many of us are going to public functions of the weekend, and the governors are telling people, if there's no medicine in this hospital, kindly ask your senator. They haven't provided the funding. It's a very important issue, Madam Speaker.
Point taken, Senator Kinyua. He's also on a point of order, Senator Gerard Gay. Allow Senator Kinyua to say.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a former chair devolution, Mr. Speaker, and the counties, Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important matter, and it's concerning our counties. Mr. Speaker, all statements that will follow are important, but the issue of money going to the county is very important, Mr. Speaker. And everybody is saying that the Senate are failing in their duties. That's why the services to the county are almost grinding to a halt. If we don't speak about this matter now, Mr. Speaker, we'll be failing in our duties. And I would urge you, Madam Speaker.
Point taken, Senator Gerard Gay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I think this matter of national gravity should be taken with seriousness deserved. Madam Speaker, for your information, the Council of Governors sat today in their extraordinary summit today, and they did discuss this House, alleging that the lack of funds, and they have said even devolution is under attack. Yet we cannot be able to converse on the floor of the House so that Kenyans can understand where the truth is. Madam Speaker, I beg of you, give us an opportunity of even 2 to 3 minutes to converse on this issue so that Kenyans can understand and know the truth. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to join my colleagues to urge you, Madam Speaker, that you give senators an opportunity to converse this matter for one reason, Madam Speaker. Last week, you had the Council of Governors purporting to give directions to this Senate, purporting to say that they have capacity to order the closure of the Senate. Madam Speaker, this institution is under attack, and we have a duty and a responsibility to safeguard the interests of counties, not the interests of individual governors, Madam Speaker. Give us an opportunity to ventilate on this matter, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Masitsa Naomi Shionga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll add my voice to my colleagues. Madam Speaker, it is very absurd when governors have extraordinary sittings to discuss about the Senate, and the Senate, in response, gives only an opportunity to 2 people. It is my urge that if you give us also an opportunity to defend ourselves, because the matter that is affecting the counties affect us too. And if at all they are there to go and proclaim outside there that we are holding at ransom the government of Kenya, everywhere they are saying that we are the ones holding the money. We need to defend this Senate. We need to defend our interests. We need to defend our name as a Senate. Madam Speaker, give us a chance. Give us a signal, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
I think I need to rule on this one, senators, because from where I sit, a speaker is only guided. And in the guidance that we got from this statement, the statement was read under 52.2. And a statement under 52.2 has no debate. It has no debate. And as we said, we don't want to use standing order number 1 at this stage, because we know we are going to come back on Thursday to discuss our matters. On Thursday, I'm informed that on Thursday there's going to be a meeting for dialogue between the 2 groups so that we see whether we can zero in. I think the leader, honorable senators, I think the leader of majority has done justice to this. The leader of minority has done justice to this. I want to plead with senators that we leave it at that The governors have had us, the executive have had us, and we are going to have opportunities through the other statements to be able to throw in one or two. So please, let's leave it at that. There is no debate on this one. Thank you. Next order is on statements 47-1, and I had moved on to Senator Milgo Alice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 47-1 to make a statement on appointment of Senator Dr. Gertrude Musuruve Nima as co-chair of the International Parliamentary Network for Education. Honorable Speaker, I congratulate Senator Dr. Gertrude Musuruve for this appointment to the IPNET. The International Parliamentary Network for Education seeks to realize the goals of SDG number 4. Honorable Speaker, in 2015, the National Community committed to include a call on education SDG number 4 among the 17 sustainable development goals to be achieved by 2030, and commitment was to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Honorable Speaker, Senator Musuruve's appointment comes at an opportune time when we are all grappling with the effects of COVID-19. Education of all children in Kenya and worldwide is affected negatively by the advent of COVID-19. Even though this is the case for every child in the education sector, children with disabilities and other marginalized communities are the most hit by this virus. IPNET seeks to ensure that the needs of the child are met first. Honorable Speaker, although education is meant to be a socio-economic equalizer for all children, with time, the academic achievement of children with disabilities and marginalized children have been moved many uncountable steps backward during this COVID-19 period. The case of Kenya, which, with regard to recreation in education for children with disability and marginalized children, is indeed the case for other African countries. Honorable Speaker, we are 10 years away from 2030, and the promised commitment to secure education for all children by the year 2020 is at great risk nationally and internationally, and IPNET support for collective action and advocacy by parliamentarians working together on education reforms will help in realizing SDG 4. Senator Dr. Musuruve is an active member of the Standing Committee on Education. Her commitment on issues of learners with disabilities and marginalized children is encouraging. She has written and published and distributed books on sign language using her own resources, and her innate desire to contribute on matters of education is overwhelmingly pleasant. Honorable Speaker, as one of us, I'm certain that Senator Dr. Musuruve is capable of pushing the interests of the African child and our agenda as a country in support of education of the vulnerable child who are at great risk of rising out on education. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting also that Senator Musuruve was once the Vice Chair of National Council of Nomadic Education in Kenya. Apart from being a PWD representative in the Senate, she has taught in a special school during her lifetime as a teacher, where she interacted with PWDs and feels their pinch and need. Madam Speaker, another keynote issue that cannot be ignored is that Senator Dr. Musuruve has academic qualifications in special needs education, masters in applied linguistics with a bias in sign language, a PhD in mass communication with a bias in media, portrayed on PWDs. And with all these experiences, I believe that Senator Dr. Musuruve is equal to the task. More importantly, she's also a very active a member of Education Committee, and she plays a very important role in contributing to issues that have been affecting education in this country. And I call upon all of my colleagues to give her the support she may need in realizing a new assignment. It is not about her, but Kenya at the international level, pushing inclusion of vulnerable children worldwide and closing the disparity in education. Thank you, Madam Speaker. If I can just add one statement, that this position, where Senator Musurube has been given to be a co-chair, IBNET, the National Parliamentary Network for Education, is actually what our recognition, based on the fact that the problems that we have been having in education has actually affected very many children, particularly marginalized, and especially now that COVID-19 is around, most children are at home, and was hit are the marginalized children. And in this case, for one of us, particularly being not only being a PWD, she's also a woman, I think we as gender, or as ladies, in this case, feel that we were greatly honored. And in this case, I wish to actually congratulate Senator Musurube for this great appointment. And I am sure sooner than later we are going to start IBNET Kenya, so that we ensure that sustainable development 4, which speak to issues of not leaving anyone behind in terms of education, will be able to deal with it very well. Otherwise, congratulations once again, Senator Dr. Musurube, and thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Two senators to contribute, Senator Sakaja, Johnson, Ada, and Senator Matsitsa, Naomi Shionga.
Madam Speaker, very briefly, because I see we have a lot of business before the House, and there are 3 other statements, 47-1 and 48-1, where we resolved no comments. I just want to join Senator Dr. Milgo, as well as the rest of this House, in congratulating Dr. Musurube. She is a serious champion for the people she represents in this House, who are people living with disability. She has distinguished herself. I have chaired, or rather she's been in committees that I've chaired in this House since we came here. And no matter what you discuss, even if you're discussing agriculture, she has to say persons with disability. If you discuss water, anything, she always has to, and that is a true champion and the true essence of the current structure of representation, where we have people who represent special interests. Madam Speaker, the International Parliamentary Network on Education is extremely important. And I know they will benefit richly from Dr. Musurube, especially because of what she's been pushing with respect to sign language, with respect to deaf learning and special learning for children with disabilities. It's a huge challenge in this country. We have children with even mental health issues or mental disabilities, autism. They don't have enough facilities. I've toured a number in Nairobi and they need assistance. Madam Speaker, I am happy to note that we shall have a champion who is going to be there. I have confidence in her. I was very sad when she was removed from my committee, and I know she's also sad to not be in my committee. But Madam Speaker, I'm very confident that we indeed have a shining star representing this House and this country in this very important network. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Masitsa, Naomi Shionga.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, again for giving me this opportunity to join my colleague on the statement on congratulating Senator Musurube on the new appointment. Indeed, I'm proud as a woman. Indeed, I'm a proud senator, and I'm a proud senator who comes from the same region with Senator Musurube. Madam Speaker, I want to say a big congratulations to this well-achieved appointment that Senator Musurube has gotten. Being an international appointment to co-chair an international opportunity, it is not easy. But for what Senator Musurube has done, it is worthy her getting this appointment. Madam Speaker, I want to say that Senator Musurube, as my colleague has said, Senator Sakaja, as much as he's becoming sad, I'm a proud chair that Senator Musurube has joined my committee of equal opportunity. And And without Senator Musuruve, sometimes I feel like there's something missing. But she has always shown that she's capable, and that shows that wherever she's put, he's able to do the much he's acquainted to do. Senator Musuruve, I want to urge you that as you take this challenge, it is a good one because you have been an able lecturer in the university, and you are. You have been a good example to us as women, and we see it. You are as a champion that many of us, as a sister, we are seeing it being done here. Many of the statements, petitions, and bills that are brought in this house, they are always supported by Senator Musuruve. And I want to say that, go sister, go senator, go for it. You are really championing us, and we are proud of you. The education field is big, it's worth you, and we are proud of this appointment. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and congratulations, Senator Musuruve.
Thank you. I'll give Senator Ali, being the chair of Senator Musuruve.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the time you've given me. I want to thank my Vice Chair, Senator Musuruve. She's my Vice Chair in the Committee of Tourism, and she is an excellent lady, Professor Daktari, very capable. As Honorable Sakaja said, she will never miss a word to say in anything which we discuss. And I like that energy. Keep it up. And I wish you well in your new position and new endeavor. Thank you very much.
1 minute, Senator Faria. 1 minute, please, so that we allow us another 1 minute only for Musuruve to respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I also wish to join my colleagues in congratulating Senator Musuruve. Senator Musuruve, like everybody has said, if you bring something on procurement, where is disability? If you bring this other issue, where is disability? So, you know, in life, you cannot expect to do things the same way and expect a different result. Senator Musuruve has proven that you can do something exceedingly well and get reward for it like the way she has done. Madam Speaker, because you just gave me 1 minute, I want to respect that. I just stick to that 1 minute, and I wish to congratulate her for this position, Madam Speaker. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Musuruve. Can you receive the congratulations in only 1 minute? Microphone, please. Give her the microphone. Okay. How about the neighboring one? Try the next one. Okay, there's a mobile one coming there, Musuruve. Senator, it's coming there. Okay. Come, let's see if that one is working. Then there is a problem. You'll still use mobile when you're there.
Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues for really supporting me for this position. And I want to say that I'm truly, truly humbled that I've been picked to serve humanity. And I want to say that it is not by mistake that I have a disability. It was actually designed by God, and I appreciate it the way God allowed it. And it is my prayer that God may use me as He intends to. And Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you so, so very much for being supportive in this initiative. And I want to let colleagues know very well that Senator Professor Kamal was actually
actually earmarked for this particular position from the embassy, and they looked at her, they looked at me, they looked at the disability issue, and that is how I was brought on board. And I want to say that I actually opened up to Professor, and she is supporting me in this initiative, and we'll be launching the global, we will be having the event, the global event on the 14th of this month. And I want to say that the Senate of Kenya is truly represented. Our Speaker is one of the interventionists. And I want to thank all the parliamentarians. Senator Mwaura has signed the declaration. Senator Shionga has signed the declaration. I have our chair, Dr. Milko, has signed the declaration.